In a world where dice determine your fate and the only thing holding you back is your imagination, embark on a journey of adventure, perils, mayhem, and treasure. Unlock the hero within and welcome to Roll for Turaco. Welcome back to Roll for Turaco. This is Frank. As you can see, this video is a little bit different. I'm opening up PowerDirector on my phone, and that's because I'm going to show you how I put a video together and edit it using the features with PowerDirector. And a lot of the stuff that I'll add, like overlays, like my logos there, that's my stuff. But PowerDirector does have some pretty cool things. I'm just going to show you a little bit. So this video that I'm actually putting together, it's from the Frankenstein one-shot that I did last year. And I really liked that campaign. And I was going to make a video talking about that campaign. But I just didn't take enough footage. Because once my players showed up, and I was happy players showed up, I just didn't worry about recording anything. But I had recorded 2 short video clips when I was setting up my my terrain and my GM screen. So I just recorded some of that, just what I had at the table. So I decided to use that as, the basis of this video. So I'm using some fonts that come with PowerDirector, and this is on the phone. You could also get PowerDirector on the desktop, but I prefer using it on my phone because I can do it anywhere. So I'm just calling this one-shot setup, and I misspelled set. Like I said, PowerDirector has some fonts. If you know how, you could probably add your own fonts. You would add them to your phone. But anyways, so I'm just using the ones here that come in the app. And I've used these for the longest time. And the background was from the flyers that I was making. That at the time that I recorded the original footage, I didn't have that flyer. But that's the background that I use for the flyer that I'm using now. So you'll see some of those elements coming on this video, because this is the 3rd time I actually make this video. The first time, it was towards the end of 2024, and I wasn't feeling well. I was under the weather. I was sick. I think it was around December. Well, yes, it was in December. So I just picked up a little bug, but my voice was raspy and gravelly, and I talked like this, and I was coughing. I didn't think that sounded too good. And I'm just getting my voice back now, so I probably shouldn't do that. So I re-recorded. Actually, I wanted to do a voiceover and just edit the footage, but I decided I'll just recreate it. And what happened that time, something happened with the screen recorder that it glitched. It didn't save anything. So I had to remake it all over again. So this is like the 3rd time. And because of that, I have 3 videos that have it's the one-shot setup. I am going to show this one at the end as soon as I'm done showing you. And wait till the outro, and I'll add the other 2 so you can see how it changed because I found this font that was on PowerDirector for Frankenstein. And I'd seen it before, but I didn't think about using it the last 2 times. And like, that is really cool, so I'm going to use that. So that's one difference, one of few differences that I make. So because I did do this video 3 times, I did get a little bit faster. But yeah, this was fun. And now I'm trying to remember if I mentioned it, that I was asked in the comments about how I make videos. I think I did mention it earlier, but if not, I'm repeating myself. And this is why I'm making this video, for that one person. But maybe this video will help someone else, kind of figure out, oh, that's how you make a video. It's not that hard. And it's really not that hard to put a video together, but it is time consuming. So I'm looking for the footage right now. So I'm going in my gallery, and I did edit some things out just to make it quicker, and also just so you don't see all the other stuff that I'm working on that I plan to show in a later video. But yeah, you can see the footage there of the flyer, and that was where I was going to have the game. I ended up actually moving it to one of their study rooms, which I've shown video of some of their study rooms before. But that was a request by the players that showed up, because they didn't want to interrupt other people, because there were people there at the library. There's like people at the table next to mine, and that was my concern, that I didn't want to be too loud. But the librarians are like, nah, it's fine. But when my player said, like, can we go to another room so we're not disturbing people? Like, okay, what my players ask, I shall listen. But at first, yes, it was going to be at that little table. And right now, what I'm doing is I want the intro to just stand out a little bit. And so it's not just boring footage of like, this is a table and this is where I have some terrain. I had made that flying Turaco for the intro to this video that I've been using, or starting to use more and more, because originally I only had the Turaco on the dice, as you can see it here on the side, the left side. And I do add it there in the beginning. So I don't know if I'd call it an animation, maybe an animatic, since there isn't a lot of movement. But I want it to look like, okay, the Turaco got off the dice and started flying across the table. So right now I'm just seeing like, okay, how far should I make it go? And I rotate it. And it's fairly simple. I really didn't have to do any actual animation, because the movement of the way that I'm recording it is all the movement that I need. So it's just a stationary image that looks like it's flying, but it's just in that one position, and I'm moving the video. And I wasn't even planning on doing anything remotely like this when I was recording the video. I just wanted to kind of swoop in across the table and then take you behind the GM screen. So I thought that was cool to just, I thought that it would be a cool idea to add the Turaco. Now that I have it, I want to use it a little bit more in other things. And so here you can see some of the stuff that I use there on my screen, in my game. It's behind my GM screen, and you can see here on the I guess it would be not the task bar, the editing bar, where everything is being added and changed. So I did grab the audio Actually, it's the music that I use for the intro. I did have some other files, and I did use them for one of the other videos. But at the time that I was re-recording everything, I had deleted files I didn't need anymore, so I didn't have that original music file. But I think this one works just fine. It's a good it's good music. And you can also add voiceover, which is what I'm doing currently as you're hearing me. I I have my headset with mic plugged in into my phone, and I'm recording this voiceover as I'm looking at the footage. I did try to show that in the original edit video, which I scrapped that. Uh, but since I was using a screen recorder and I tried to do it as I was editing, I couldn't access it because my mic was already being in use. So I couldn't record a voiceover as I was editing, so you can see how I do that. And I didn't want to fake that. I could have, because the screen recorder was picking up my audio. Uh, and I said I would just redo it, and I would just mention that's what I wanted to do. Because I try to be as authentic as I can be. Uh, there's a lot of editing, so I'm not going to show you like all the mistakes, but sometimes I'll show bloopers. There really weren't that many bloopers here, but like I said, towards the end, you're going to see the two videos that I made after this one. So I guess that's the bloopers, or just the discarded footage that you wouldn't have seen unless I decided to add it. Okay, so let's see. What am I doing? Oh, yes, right now I'm just looking for the perfect image, for the perfect place to add a transition. And PowerDirector has some pretty interesting transitions. There are some that you pay for. I'm using the free version, but there is a subscription service that allows you to use everything, and that's a yearly charge. Right now, the free version works just fine for me, so I use that. But even the free version has some pretty interesting transitions. I tend to use the fade transition a little bit more. Sometimes I'll use some of their more fancier ones, but it just depends on the video. And it makes it easy to splice out a section. You can see that I'm just cutting areas there, and there you can see the module Frankenstein by Professor Dungeon Master. And I'll talk about the game itself, or the campaign itself. So I did have two gentlemen. I believe they were at the time 19 and 20, but I think one of them just had a birthday. So now they're in their 20s, and they showed up, and I was just excited that people showed up, because at that time not many people were showing up. I think I've had to either cancel or just sit there by myself maybe 2 or 3 times. But I was happy that, oh yeah, there's there's people coming now. And we had a great time. I talked a little bit about that in some of the speeches that I've given. One guy was just like, "Hey, well, can I do this, and can I do that, and can I use my charisma, and can I use my stealth, my dex?" So I like that they were asking questions. And one guy was he was being diplomatic. He's like, Frankenstein's creature, why are you killing people? I don't think he actually said Frankenstein's creature, but you get the point. He was being diplomatic, and we had a different result at the end of the game. The creature survived. He lived, and he lives in the actual book. But he lived. So did Dr. Frankenstein, and so did his bride to be, which at the end they did get married. And the creature just kind of walks off to start a new life. And we ended it at that. So it was pretty interesting. That's one of the more memorable games that's stored in my memory. As you can see here at the end, I added this little outro for that video. I didn't do that for the first video that I did. I did do it for the second one, but the screen recorder didn't pick anything up. But I did make the video within the video. There's a lot of Turacoception in this video. And I used a different font, so I thought it would be cool to just kind of make it like if I'm doing an advertisement, like, oh, this is what is awaiting you. So join us next time. Now that I'm thinking, I should have added some voiceover to that, but it's fine. So I'm using the elements that I made for the flyer. So you can see the wanted poster type background with the RPG Club scroll there on the bottom. I got Capt Goggles, I got Masked Woman, and yeah, that was pretty much it for this video. It's just adding some of the elements, and I guess some of these are my elements, and some of these are elements with PowerDirector, like the font. And I don't think I used anything else from PowerDirector except for the font and transitions. But that is pretty much what it is. So you just make a simple video. It doesn't take that long. If you're editing hours that you want to condense to maybe under an hour, that will take a while. And it's also going to depend on your phone because it does take up memory. And so I do try to delete some of my files, or I would just move them to an SD card. But even that's getting filled. But yeah, I mean, if you just want to do some quick editing, the phone app works just fine. And this is on Android. I am not certain if it's also on iPhone. I think it is, but since I don't have iPhone, I can't verify that. But there you can see how I'm just lining up the images, so you can see how they I have them pop up as the video goes. And it's pretty much what I did with the Turaco. I just line it up to where I want it and cut, trim, and that's the video. And I did produce the video, and that's what you can see right now. But remember to stay tuned after the intro for the other two videos. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the video. This has been Frank Salazar with Roll for Turaco. Don't forget to roll for Turaco. Subscribe. It's time to roll for Turaco. Roll for Turaco. Subscribe.